welcome back to Africa Tech Festival 2023. Absolutely delighted to be joined by FNB South Africa's Nollie Maoto. Great to have you with us, Nollie. Welcome back to Africa Tech Festival. You've just come from a session around creating the data dream team. So how does one ensure that one's data team is a strategic asset rather than a cost center?
That's a very good question. I think more importantly is starting the basics, which is actually understanding the organization's strategy, right? Because that for me will then craft to what you're trying to actually do and actually achieve. So once you're clear on what the strategy is, what you're trying to achieve and when you're trying to achieve it, then you can actually go back to actually understand how you can leverage off the existing resources that you have that will help you achieve that strategy. So that, as an example, speaks to creating the right data team. So the analogy I made is in every sport, there's actually then you create the team, and the teams actually have players. Each player have their own position. And before they actually have the position, they need to understand the role of that position and their responsibilities. So that's exactly the same with any data dream team that you're trying to create that's going to be an asset for the organization, is understanding each role that's required for you to be able to reach your strategic intent, and more importantly, the responsibilities of those roles. So you're not just creating either a centralized or decentralized team or even a federated one, it's the reason of why behind that actual creation.
How do sessions like the one you've just been involved in allow for these ideas to really marinate and an exchange of views? Do you find them useful?
I find them very useful because most of the panelists are from different organizations. So those are different perspectives, different experiences. And I think more importantly is also for me the audience Q&A session during that component of the panel interview, because then you also get other insights, not just from the panelists, but also from your audience. And you're either learning from them or more importantly, either unlearning and relearning some of the things that you already know.
One thing we must talk about, Nollie, is that you are a brand or an ambassador for Africa Tech Festival. You are part of the Leadership Council. What does that mean? What do you do?
I think part of the Leadership Council is for us to be holding our hands together with Africa Tech and Informa to ensure that we create a conference, if you want to call it that, because it really is a festival, that I think more importantly reaches the African perspective of tech, of telecommunications, of AI, of data, where it needs to be. So literally, we're meeting our audience and the visitors where they actually are by ensuring we've got the relevant vendors, as an example, here that will address the needs that they actually have. Making sure we've got the relevant speakers that have the relevant knowledge and experience to talk about various subjects that are applicable and relevant to the actual audience. So for us as the Leadership Council is to actually ensure that we're creating a platform for both the audience, the suppliers and vendors, so they can meet somewhere centrally and everybody benefits from the value that actually creates.
Well, we're very lucky to have you and we appreciate your time, Nollie. That is it, Africa Tech Festival. You must make sure that you are following the hashtag Africa Tech Festival for all of your updates.